Hi there, welcome to Scrap and Coffee. So it's time to start decorating the Darcelle folio. And so the construction is complete. I will do a small walkthrough in a second. So I have the Darcelle Prima Marketing Darcelle paper pad. It's an A4 paper pad, and yeah, it will work with the folio that we made. So yeah, I don't know if you know the paper pad, but it has 6 different pattern papers, double-sided. So this is the first one, front and the back. And let's see, this is the second one, front and the back. And then we have this one, front, it looks like some color parts, but you can use it as a whole sheet, and also the back with some butterflies on it. And then this is the, again, looks like some color parts in the back side. And this is the last one. No, I'm lying, there's one more. Yes, this one, the blue one, with this nice frame and butterflies. So a lot of blues, butterflies, some browns and purples. I've got some flowers for the cover. I have the 6x4 journaling card, so yeah, I'm not going all the way through it, but it has some cards in both directions, so yeah, we can use it on the waterfall. I have some Ampera and some stickers. I have some chipboard stickers, and I have some ribbon that I've bought in Europe when I was in Europe with the holidays. It's from a store that's called Sustrene Grene. It's I think it's a Danish store. It's only in Europe, but it's an awesome store. I really wish we would have that here, but it was really cheap. It was like 70 cents for this roll, a euro cent, so that's really close to the US dollar. It's 10 meters, so I don't know how much that is in feet or inches or whatever. So yeah, this is what we are going to use, and I normally don't film my matting / decorating process because I'm one big mess, but we'll see how this is turning out to be. We do a quick walkthrough if you haven't seen it yet. We have on our front cover a waterfall. We have a belly band that has 2 openings. I don't have something that will go in there, but the belly band, this is a large pocket, and then we have belly band here with, oh, it fits, with an opening on top and an opening on the bottom. So you will be able to put 2 photo mats in there and it won't slide to the bottom. We have a deconstructed envelope here. I'm not going to open it up now because it will be. And then we have a large acetate pocket here. We have a double stack belly band. And then we have our, again, acetate pockets with room for photos, and again room for photos. And then here we have a pocket on a flap. Here you can place a photo, and here we have a pocket, envelope closure, and behind that there's another pocket. So it's not too big, but just fun to work with. And again, I have to be careful with that paper clip there. So I was thinking I'm going to choose one of the journaling cards to go on top of here, but first I'm going to place a ribbon on there. Let's open this up. I haven't used it yet. I went to that store in December, and I just bought several of these rolls in colors that I liked, and I'm so happy that I did, because now it will go with this collection so perfectly. So I will be cutting away that first piece that's a little bit folded. And I don't do this very often, using ribbon and stuff, so bear with me please, as I'm trying to figure out what will work best. So I will be putting it on my top flap here, just placing it down, cut a piece, and I will put some on the bottom flap, and then I can tie it all up together. So I have some 1/4 inch tape here. And then I will reinforce this, of course, with my pattern paper, and so it has a nice and shiny side, and it has a more yeah, less beautiful side. So I'm going to place the tape on the back side of it. And I'm just doing, I'm eyeballing it. So now I'm going to determine the middle, because I am precise like that. You don't have to be if you don't want to. It doesn't fit, of course, so I know it should be at let me think, 2 1/8 is the middle. So I'm just going to mark the middle of the piece with my pencil on where I want to have the. So I'm removing the tape backing here. And just place it where it's in between those pencil lines. And just got it. And then I'm going to do that so again on the bad side of the ribbon, just place some tape, 1/4 inch tape that fits on there perfectly, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't fit. And I'm just placing it on here, but making sure that that tape isn't going all the way to the bottom of my piece, of the edge of the piece. So, and then again I'm just cutting it. So then when it all is closed, we can just tie it up. And of course there will be some pattern paper on there to make it stronger. So let's see what we have on note cards. Okay, so I just took out some cards that I really like, and for now I will be needing a portrait direction card. Oh, that will go up there, so I like that one. Let's see. So we can use this one. I like this one as well. I also like this one, but less. I think this speaks to me a little bit more, although I really love the blue, but I will use it somewhere else. So I like to ink my edges up, and I'm just using the black stuff by Distress Ink, Tim Holtz. Sometimes I don't mind if it's inked a little bit more than, and you can see it a little bit on the pattern paper. So this is what will be going on top of here. And I just like to use wet glue for my matting process. You can use whatever you like. And the corners of these cards are a little bit rounded, so you could round the corners of your waterfall as well if you like. I think I'm not going to do it. And I'm just going to make sure that it's nicely lined up. Using the wet glue I have some wiggling room, so and I'm just placing it on there. Well, that was easy. So now you can decide on what you want to do with your waterfall, because yeah, we could be placing a card like this on every piece, and then when it's closed you will see a little bit of that pattern of your card. You can also just place a photo there 6x4. So this is a white photo mat, 6x4. And then you will have that strip, yeah, well now white, but later on your photo. And I don't like it if you are able to see a little bit of the photo. So what I like to do with this kind of waterfalls is I am placing a 6x4 right here. And then a 4x4 right here. And then I will do a strip of pattern paper on the bottom. And then you can embellish it a little bit, or you know, place a sticker or something. And then when you close it, then you will see that pattern paper. So I'm going to see what I can find in my paper pad that will go with this one. It's going to be, are going to be some hard decisions. But I'm thinking, not this one. This one I'll probably put in the acetate window. I just like that image. But what I think, I just love that blue with the purple. I think I'm going to place this one. I'm guessing. So we have that blue shining through with the roses. Yes, so let me do a measurement. And then we have to do some cutting. So if I'm placing my 4x4 on here with a 1/8 border around, then I would be leaving with 2 inches. So I think if I cut 1 7/8 of an inch, I would have some nice spacing. So that will be 1 7/8 of an inch, and I need them to be 4 inches wide. So I'm going to cut a strip at 4 inches, and then I'm going to make 1 7/8 strips, and let's see how that fits. But I think I will be doing it, placing it like that. So I'm going to ink all of those pieces. So making sure that I have it in order. And that's where I already go wrong. So I have some 4x4 photo mats cut. Now what I usually do, but that's, yeah, it's really up to you what you want to do. You don't have to place these photo mats, you can just place your photo here at once. My 6x4 photos, I usually place them with some removable tape. So I can replace them for a 6x4 photo, because when I print photos, I will print them with the white border. But when I make other sizes of photos, spaces, like here I'm going for the 4x4, then I will place the white down and place a photo on top, because I want to have that white edge around it. But that's really personal. But for now I am placing the white photo mat in there, so I can space out my piece of pattern paper. And then I will, later on, I will just place my 6x4s with some removable tape. And you don't even have to place them if you are going to replace them with photos, of course, but I do it because yeah, for the project chair it just looks better if there is something on there. So I'm going for that 1/8 of an inch border on top and on the sides. And then take my first piece of pattern paper, and I will just place that on there with some spacing in between the photo mat. That's one. And then we just go to the next one. So I'm not doing anything with my 6x4 for now. And you can perfectly use a lighter weight white cardstock for your photo mats. If you do it, it's even better. Just reduce bulk. And actually, I'm doing this wrong, because it's better to start from the bottom. So when I've placed this one and then you go one flap up, you can line up your pieces. So let's do that. I should have done it from the beginning. Wasn't thinking. So for this one I have to cut an extra piece of pattern paper, but I have that, so that's fine because I am having some extra space here. So I have to go a little bit different here. But that's okay. I will come back for that strip. I will just do the what I've prepared now first. I'm glad that my ribbon wasn't too long here. So now when I go one up, I'm going to place my piece of pattern paper first and I'm going to line that up. So when it's all closed, your pattern paper is nicely lined up as well. So let's hope we're not too far off with the piece that we've already placed. And I'm not using a lot of wet glue. It's just, oh, I realize I have to make strips for all the flaps actually, so that will be our next step. Please let me know if you like to see the decorating process of the projects. So I normally don't film it, but I don't know if people like, is it something that you like to see to get inspiration or tips, or maybe what you definitely don't want to do? It's just sometimes it's also, for me it's really relaxing, this part, and it's hard for me to talk while I'm doing it. Oh look, it's not too bad. We did a pretty good job. Oh, that one's not stuck. So now this is what we get when it's all closed. And then I will be cutting some 3/8 of an inch strips to go in there, and I'm going to do it with the same pattern paper. And for here, yeah, I'm just doing the 3/8 of an inch strip as well. So 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. And I don't think we will be able to cut it out of that one piece that I have lying there. We'll see. For the smaller strips, I do use my smaller paper trimmer because I'm not able to get it done with the larger one. And with this, it goes pretty easy. 1, 2, 3. I think we will be able to make it. Oh, the last one is maybe not 3. No, that's too small. Ah, we're one piece short. And this should be 4 inches. don't cut away that little piece of rose that I have there. So 5 strips that measure 4 by 3/8 of an inch. And yes, I am taking my time to ink all of those strips up. Last bit. Done. And this is what happens to your hands for inking all those small pieces, but yeah. So I'm not going to worry about any order of these strips actually. It's, if you want to do it really precise, then you could cut this piece and then that piece that fits on top of here. If you get what I'm trying to say, but that goes a little too far for me. That's one. Just make sure you have them in the right direction. See, so that's a waterfall. So I will be placing 6x4s on here, but I will do it with removable tape so I can replace them with a photo, or the person who receives it can replace it for a photo. And then I'm really terrible at making, how do you call it? Tying it up. So I'm just tying it up for now, not worrying about it. Just want it to be closed. So here we are able to place some pattern paper, and now I had a 6x4 and 4-inch, and then I still have some room, so I can try something at 4 1/4, and then probably have to cut it to 4 1/8, but I'd rather cut it down a little bit than. So you will need 2 pieces of pattern paper. Let's measure the width. Where's my pencil? I'm just marking it where, and then I can measure it on, so I know the size of the, I think 5 1/4. Yes. So 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 of some pattern paper of our choice. So I'm thinking something like this. This one. Maybe that one. Ooh, I like that one. I think I'm going bold with this album because, yeah, this is too close to each other. So I really like that purplish pink. Nah. And then we will probably be able to use this side right here. Can I fit that in there? No, that's what I thought. Oh, it fits. It fits. Oh, it's pretty tight. But it fits. I can get it in there. But then I am a little bit tight on spacing here, so maybe I will still just cut it off just a hair. Well, yeah, I'm cutting off just a hair on both pieces. So, in order to place it, I am going to struggle a little bit. Yeah, that's a nice fit. Yep. What I will be doing is I'm going to place my glue on this side, and then when it's in there, I'm going to try and get some glue on that side as well. And it's a pretty tight fit, so we'll see how that goes, but my glue is going right here. And that's especially because it's that tight of a fit, you want to make sure that you have the time to get it where you want it. See, as soon as the glue catches onto the cardstock, it's getting more and more difficult to place it. So, and I think I'm quite happy with this. So now I'm just try to lift it up here a little bit. Like I said, it's pretty stuck underneath there, and just get some glue under it. And I can also always do a little touch up in the corners if I feel like it needs it. Okay, that's the first piece. So my glue is going over here. Try to line it up. Yes. Well, that looks pretty good. So now we are going to place something in the pocket here. And I think, but that's in the wrong direction now, so, but we also have this one. That will be nice too. So I just like to measure that I'm at least half an inch in the pocket, and then 1/8 of an inch, but I think 1 3/4. Then we go a little bit further in the pocket, that will be fine. 1 3/4 by 8.5. Yep, I like that. Let's ink it and stick it down. And normally I don't stick everything down as fast as I'm doing now. I would really go for a look, and once I'm happy with the complete look, then I will be sticking it down. But now I don't have a lot of choice in my papers. I know everything goes together pretty good, so I'm pretty confident with the choices that I'm making. I don't have to refit that again, I can just stick it down. Let's see, I'm only gluing it on the outside edge. I'm lining it up with the edges of these pieces. And close that again. Yes, I love this. That looks pretty good to me. So in here, in the frame, I was thinking about using this one, but I'm not completely sure, but I think it's my nicest option. It has something beautiful, but still when I place it in there, you will lose about ½ an inch. So you have to take that in account when you choose your papers. Okay, so I will lose some of it, but I can place it like 1/8 of an inch lower, so then it's not so much. But it's still calm, so it doesn't, I can go a little bit more bold around the edges. I can, when I put stuff in there, it's not like I'm covering up this complete image. So I think this piece is actually pretty perfect to go in here. So what I'm going to cut from it is 6 1/4 by 8 1/2. See, I think that looks pretty good. It's nice. It's not too much, it's really, I like it. And you can also place something here on the bottom, you know, to fill this room up a little bit if you think it's too plain, but I like it. So I'm going to put some ink on the top edge only, because that's the only edge you might be able to see, but you don't have to worry about it too much. So again, it can be quite difficult to place it in here, but without making one big mess. We'll see how I'm doing. So I'm just placing some tape around the edge. I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I'm not placing any tape on the bottom. You're not going to mess around too much with it, so. So it has lines on it, so you want it to be somewhat straight, because otherwise it would look off. I hope I'm straight. Sometimes it's not so easy to see when you're placing it sideways, so yeah, I think I'm a little bit off, but I'll be fine. So now we have to figure out what we are going to do with the frame. I think you want to have something, this is pretty dark, so you want to have something lighter. So we could use these edges, that would be pretty fun, but I think the butterfly, they are too high for it. So well, we could do it. See, when you place something dark around the dark, I think it's just too much. So we have to go for something lighter. I don't like that, that's just too, no. We have this one. But the images are pretty big, so you're going to lose a lot of the image. Doesn't necessarily have to be a problem, of course. Of course, we have these roses as well. I have to cut a new sheet, but that's okay. And we have, but this is just too much for now, so we are definitely not be using this side. This is nice and calm. And then this. This is a little bit of a more difficult decision for me, but I think I actually like this one. We could also go really bold with the pink one again. We can do it. Let's get a new sheet of that. I don't take the effort to cut out a frame of this paper. I'm just going for strips. If you see more of my projects, you'll always see me do that. So we could go for this, but then you have roses on roses, but we can just go for the really bold purplish pink again, and then you really, these roses in this paper will really come forward. So I just think that's our best option actually. So this frame I cut at 5/8 of an inch, so I'm going to make 1/2 inch strips. When I'm cutting strips for my frame, I always normally I always go for a 1/8 of an inch border around, but when I cut these strips, I'm not doing it. I'm cutting it 1/8 of an inch smaller than the frame. So 5/8 of an inch, and I'm going for the whole length on this side, and I'm going to piece it in the middle. And then also here, I'm just taking 1/8 of an inch off in length, so I'm going for 8 and 5/8 of an inch in length by 1/2 inch. And I am taking in mind the direction of the paper, so I need 2 strips of 1/2 inch in this direction, and I will cut it at 8 and 5/8. Well, I'm going to do that with the other one, that's more precise. And then I'm going to turn my pattern paper sheet around, and I'm going to cut it in the other direction for the pieces that I need in the other direction. Because if you cut it in the same direction and then place it in the other way, like here there is script on it, you will see it's off. It will not look right. So in the other direction, again, I'm cutting 2 strips of 1/2 inch. Please make sure that you have it in the right direction. So I'm sorry, my head is going in the camera here. Making sure that it's not too long, but it's fine. Yes. So I'm gluing those down. Okay, now let's see the strips. Yes, exactly what I thought. So I just cut it down to size a little bit where my spacing is perfect between the strips. And re-inked that edge. So now when I'm placing it, I'm also making sure that my bottom of these strips is lined up with the bottom of this strip. And that's why I'm also making it 1/8 of an inch smaller than 1/4 of an inch smaller, what I normally would do. Because you want it nicely lined up.